I wouldn't know.
Hello.
Welcome to the bowl
Welcome
with anything in it.
Welcome to the Anything Bowl where anything goes. My name is Miguel.
I'm Brendan.
Where today,
Maybe.
folks, Brendan, what are we talking about? We have two
Monkeys.
Yes.
Apes.
Rise of the War of the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
On the frog, on the log, on the bog. So based on the fact that it is a gorgeous movie and
beautiful.
the fact that it is supposed to be a huge franchise that maybe not as many people are seeing as should, I'm going to go with 130.
In terms of budget?
Yeah.
You're close. It's 160.
I was going to say that, but if it was more popular, I would have went 160.
Do you know what opening weekend looks like?
68.
55. Your estimates are getting better,
Yes,
just
they
very slowly.
Yes.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It's the fourth movie in a rebooted, restarted franchise.
That originally had 5 movies.
That originally had far too many.
So now we're up to 9.
Now we're...
Did you see what they announced, though? The new trilogy?
The new trilogy?
It's supposed to be a trilogy.
That's what I thought. Okay.
But it's not just a trilogy. They want 9 in total.
What a wonderful day!
I'm so
That's
down.
so much monkey.
It's a very underrated series.
That means there's 11. No, 14 come the
in
ending.
total. Fuck the Star Wars marathon. Monkey movie all day.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Tell me about the story. What did you think? What was it about?
It is about a monkey.
Monkey.
Who is in just a sheltered community.
He is.
That just finds his way out into the world.
He does.
And just finds Jesus.
Basically. Yeah.
Monkey Jesus.
Monkey Jesus.
AKA
Based on
Caesar.
Elon Musk. He has 2 names.
Yes. You know you have a laptop.
I do.
He did get a second name that was like...
Caesar.
It was like Liechtenstein or some shit.
What?
It?
Are we talking about the same one?
It had a
I'm talking about the
complicated-
monkey with the crown.
Yeah. He had a complicated name that I thought began with an L.
No. Liechtenstein. Proximus Caesar.
I was close.
So...
The actor is in a lot of things, and I didn't realize he was still acting. He was the Blob in X-Men Origins.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the only thing I have that you're going to know him from, but he's in more. I know him from other things.
Yeah, I would have never gotten that. So he... Monkey story.
Yeah.
Right? First of all, we said last week, like, maybe the summer movie season starting. 100%. This is the start.
yeah.
I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
Monkey movie, number 1. It's hundreds of years after Caesar died, and I have to appreciate that the movie opens with Caesar's funeral, where they're not like, oh, we're just going to move past this so you can forget everything. They're like, no. This is integral. We're moving forward in the correct way.
So what really caught me off guard with that is they took the story a completely different route than the original ones went. So, but they never really explain what happens to Caesar after those initial events. I always assumed it was going to be kind of like a kingdom lineage where like his son would take over and
That's
do
what I
whatever.
thought, too.
And he just turned into a prophet kind of.
Yeah.
And just, I
He's
didn't see
Jesus.
that coming. Yeah.
It's basically,
And
this whole movie is like a parallel to some religions.
Dune.
In that, Dune, yes.
Monkey
in that
Dune.
you have Monkey Jesus.
Monkey Jesus.
And years later, what he actually did and what he said is both followed correctly and incorrectly deliberately.
Simultaneously.
All at the same time.
Yes.
And there's people, you have these same, like the Caesar is the window symbol you see everywhere
I love
still.
that. It's
I love it.
such a callback.
And
it's
nobody,
such a good callback.
it's so good because none of the other apes understand what the fuck it is.
Yes.
They're just like, this means Caesar.
It's a fucking window.
But I love that it's clear that they're following the same guy,
Yes.
but it's 2 entirely different ways. And I love the variation in terms of one guy's like, no, man, look, this is how Caesar would have wanted it. I need to follow and teach whatever. And then the
Yes.
other guy's like, I'm going to take his name. I'm going to fucking kill monkeys. I don't care. Fuck y'all. I want the bombs and the tanks behind the wall.
So he had no idea what the fuck was behind
No,
it. He
he
was just like
didn't.
human technology.
There has to be something good.
But I mean, there was some pretty nice shit back then.
Until they...
There was a fucking nuke that they were just climbing on that no one addressed.
Really?
Yeah. Did you not notice?
No,
that
all I noticed was the tanks.
the end of the movie, they're in a missile silo climbing up towards the surface when they get to the fan.
And there's a big bomb.
Yeah. Which okay,
No,
I
book's
need-
more important. Kingdom is fresh at an 80
Yeah.
on both sides. This was a fucking ton of fun. I think my most memorable moments are Proximus Caesar. Crazy fucking name.
What a lovely day.
Yeah, there's that one. Both of them are in the trailers. It's What a Lovely Day. He says it a couple times
Yeah.
as he's like leading a prayer service. Really fucking weird. And then
Well, he's
pull.
a religious fanatic.
Yes,
so
exactly.
He's got a.
And then when he's screaming pull as they're trying to open up the door, and
Yeah.
instead of opening anything, they just kill a bunch of apes.
so many monkey stuff in this movie.
In the worst way, too. It was
Yeah.
like chains whipping.
People said that this one was probably the second best out of the new ones. I'm gonna have to go with it's the third.
I would say it's hard because all 3 of the newer ones are, I would say, almost equal. War is clearly the best out of them.
War's the second one, right?
War is the last one.
No, Dawn is the best one.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
With
With the guy
Gary
who was
Oldman?
also in Terminator, that one reboot that no one saw.
Terminator Genesis.
Yes.
Great movie.
Yeah, I do like that one.
That's a good one.
But that one is by far the best one.
Yes.
It's really good. It's really solid. The character development, Koba being set up in the prior film, and you just...
Yeah, and Koba's like the most obvious villain turn, though.
Yeah. You know who I didn't realize he was played by, and it's
Who?
really upsetting? Dr. Doom from the reboot in 2016, or around there, whenever the fuck it came out. You don't even remember that
nope,
actor anymore.
no.
You know why?
You know what's funny?
He got that role probably because of this, and that fucked him up.
I've never seen that Fantastic Four movie either.
I want to say he's the dude in The Gentleman, but that could be the dude from Divergent. They look similar. Unless it's the same dude, and I'm just
Are we
insane.
confusing more people this week?
Yes.
What did you like about Kingdom? Like, if I had to point a couple things out, I think I really liked the CG, obviously. Fucking marvelous, looked phenomenal. Didn't look as good as Caesar did in the first three. It's clearly like a small downgrade from that trilogy because they don't have as much faith in this movie.
No.
What?
No.
Really?
Yeah, you're very wrong in that.
Completely disagree with you.
So the first movie, I actually look at it now, actually looks dated compared to the other
Agreed.
two. I kept getting mildly upset, but in a good way, where I went, this isn't a fucking CG monkey, that's a guy in a suit. It looks too real. It's too good. It's a guy in a suit. It's not, there's no way.
That's how I felt with all the set pieces.
There's no, in the set pieces in three look great.
We're only talking about four, Brendan.
Sorry, four.
Focus.
Set pieces in this one look great. The monkeys in this one went a little bit too far for me, and they tried to add too many human traits where it gets a little bit into the uncanny
which is the
valley.
only thing I didn't like.
Which makes them look a little bit faker because
it's a lot of human facial structure.
It's
which,
not
understandably, they need it because now they're talking and it's generations later, so they're adapting a little bit. But that's
like the orangutan whose face squished 4 times the size to be more human.
But there's a thing I liked and a thing I didn't like. Before I forget,
Are we still talking about the faces?
oh yes,
Okay.
didn't like the minute they started speaking. Because in the first three, they're starting to speak, so it's like little monkey mannerisms, but also like you throw in a couple words there, and Caesar's like always sounds like he's out of breath because he's learning to talk.
Yeah.
And in this one, immediately they're like, there's a couple of those mannerisms, but they're like, are you gonna get the egg? And you're like, you look monkey.
Yeah.
You sound
Human.
not good. What I did like, probably one of my favorite parts in the movie is I told you they opened with Caesar's funeral.
Yeah.
We got to see Maurice for a hot minute. He's my favorite.
Who's Maurice? Is that the orangutan?
The big one.
Yeah.
He goes.
Yeah, I didn't know his name. I just orangutan and Caesar.
It's the fact that his face is so big. There's so much emotion behind him.
He's the one that really. He
miss
looked
him.
like a
He
real
was just
monkey.
a real monkey.
I'm convinced they taught a monkey to act. But in this one, their faces, it felt kind of like what they did with cats, but correctly. To where hold on, hear me out.
It's a great comparison.
It's what they wanted to do for cats, but then butchered it completely.
Yeah.
And in this, they're doing it, but it's a little too weird. And I think it's only going to get worse because they're going to get more and more humanoid unless they kind of get to a point where in the future ones they make them more like cavemen rather than monkeys, which could be oh my god. Me and Timmy were talking about this before you came down, and I think I just connected the whole fucking dots. They want 9 movies. I wanted it to be like the original one where the humans come and they destroy the world and it's a whole big thing. I think we're going to see these monkeys re-evolve back into humans and then fuck it up again.
Not point of contention, but another big part of this movie is the lead girl, May.
Yes.
Pros and cons of her, right?
Siri.
Pro, the first half hour, the way that she's acting, it's very feral. I believed it. I was like, dude, you're doing a couple weird things. You're making weird noises. I get it.
No, I didn't get that at all.
I got that completely. Con is the minute that she spoke once, complete 180.
It was way too high for her voice. Like, she was just like the entire rest of the movie, she's like, hey, I'm here. And then that she's like, Noah! Yeah, I'm like, what the why was that so
Monkey
high-pitched?
named Noah.
Yeah, horrible name.
Like, what? It's like Koba, Anaya, Proximus Caesar, Noah.
In the original trilogy, like fucking the other names they have for the monkeys are like Cornelius and shit like that.
That makes sense.
Those are like hard
Noah?
names. Yeah, not
That's a hard fucking name,
not
man.
Noah.
I ain't never met a man named Cornelius who wasn't hard as fuck. So I like the.
I'm just picturing the dude from the Green Mile.
What is his name? The villain from the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie.
That's the same guy.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark.
He
Great
had
actor.
to have been the inspiration for the big angry gorilla, because it's like each one of the faces of the monkeys doesn't look like a monkey. It looks like a human mixed with a face.
Yeah.
Mixed with a monkey face. He looked one for one. Like just the way that his facial structure would move and the angry face, even though I only really know him from, what is it, The Green Mile and fucking Daredevil, it felt like that was the inspiration. Is that right?
He played it in the Tim Burton one.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes complete.
So that means they took.
Sense.
He played the character in the 2001 reboot, and they went, "We like this guy.
Yeah,
We're just going to take him, and he's going to be the inspiration for this."
And
So
that's
even
what I
though
was
Michael
saying.
Clark Duncan's not alive,
No,
he's in this movie.
He was very much alive,
Yeah.
and the moment I saw him was the moment I went, "Fuck! I should have watched the Tim Burton one."
Yeah.
And, like I prepared so much for this, and that was the one I didn't watch, and there was clearly influence because as much as it was a bad movie, I
Never
can't,
seen it.
can't
Have
even
no idea.
support that. I saw it when I was a kid. So whatever. I remember Michael Jackson's sister being in it.
His Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being a pop star that's such a huge sensation for like 20 years, and then the only thing you're known for on a podcast in 2024 is being Michael Jackson's sister? You know she's like a multi-platinum selling artist.
She's also the reason that they created YouTube. So like, there's that.
Boob.
Yeah. This is her in the movie. Still just looks like her because they did not put enough prosthetics on her eyes or anything.
She looks like Michael Jackson.
Yeah. That's what happens when you get plastic surgery or, prosthetics put on your face. It's really weird. To be fair, without that on, as she got older, she did look more like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know why. But
what else did we really like and what else did we really not like? I was trying to convince Timmy, right? Because we came out of the movie. Timmy really didn't like it. I really enjoyed it. We came out of the movie and she was aggravated that they didn't give enough backstory to everything.
Yes.
Because she went in looking, I guess, for this to be a standalone thing.
Mm-hmm.
I came out knowing we live in 2024. This is a franchise already. They want to keep building on it. I didn't know it was 9 movies. I assumed it was another trilogy.
Yeah.
But I knew we came out. I was like, okay, so because my brain is just Marvel goop now.
Yeah.
They came in. They're like, all right, so they teased this. So that means we're going to see this in a later movie. They did this, so we're going to see this in a later movie. They purposely didn't explain that, and this guy died.
Yeah. This is everything that I think they tried to set up, everything that I thought they did weird, and everything that was weirder for me having seen the original movies recently.
Okay.
First off, the main character in this is clearly a descendant of Caesar because of the eyes.
Yes.
They did not mention that, but
No.
I think they're going to go into it in the next one, and I think that's because this is more setting up a kind of world a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot of world building to be like, look, we had this before and it's similar, but this is the new thing that we're in.
And that's exactly what they did for the first one, where you see Caesar, you get who Caesar is kind of as a person, his whatever, but you don't really get that character depth until the second one.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think that's exactly what they're going to do. I don't like that this is called
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
And he's starting that new kingdom, or was the tribe
I felt like it was because it did the movie thing where it goes, this is my kingdom.
Okay, so that was the king. Okay,
yes.
I saw this as him making a new kingdom, and that's kind of something I always wanted to see because the way that they've done these through all of them with Caesar and everything is that they make it seem like this is happening worldwide, but the movies are so localized, and kind of small feeling in the grand scheme of things.
Yes. Well, I mean, it makes sense because there's no electronics, there's no internet, there's no any way to pass anything around.
So I want to go a little bit of a Fallout route on this. I want to see something
complete Fallout vibes.
Like an NCR kind of thing, where like there's a formed government kind of happening or whatever, where like the central belief is Caesar's stuff.
And I'm sure there is. Whatever.
But it doesn't seem like there is because he didn't go that route in like it seemed in the original ones where it was a society, they believed in the Caesar things completely. It's
well, he
was
starting from scratch. Are you talking about the humans having the communication or the apes? Like, are the monkeys the ones trying to communicate over radio? Because I got the start of that. Like, they don't understand how technology...
No, the humans were talking over the start of radio in the last trilogy where they were like, this is happening over here, this is whatever. If they see these monkeys, they're killing them, so they clearly know about them.
Yeah.
And in this, he's in the small tribe, he branches out, goes to the closest other village, which is just a fucking concentration camp, pretty much.
Basically.
Which is the same as the third film.
Yes.
And...
you have to add things that are similar to bring people in.
The one thing I will give this is that I actually like about this, the modernized version of the series as a whole, is each one is its own spin on a different movie genre. It's not the same thing over and over. The first one was a revolution movie. It was coming from nothing. The second one was a post-apocalyptic war kind of thing. And the third one was a prison break film. And
what is this? This is all of those.
This one takes from all of those, but it felt more like a 70s action movie in a way where you have these kind of like, they're just like, okay, we're going to go back, we're going to make it basic, we're going to go like rudimentary with their like knowledge and stuff like that, and we're just going to...
And then the ending conflict results in trying to get a bomb.
I'm not saying that they should have learned everything from humans, but they made it seem like not only was Caesar smart, he seemed like he was almost smarter than a human in some aspects of things, except for the speech patterns. I'm not expecting them to come up with iPhones and whatever, but you couldn't fucking figure out concrete. You're still building with sticks 300 years later? No stone? No nothing?
It's very slow, but you could see it happening in how Noah, bad name,
They evolved
he
so
figures
quick
out,
that his face shrunk 5 sizes on the orangutan, but they couldn't figure out concrete.
Yes. Noah has the electricity, and he's playing with it, and he figures out how to light the thing. That is
because
clearly
Caesar's thing, which they...
Yes.
okay.
So he's
I knew
clearly
there was more. I
he's
forgot about that.
slowly learning and figuring it out, but it's clear that this is going to be like, all right, we're giving you all these things. It's a start. There's a story in this, but there's so much more that we're going to build on.